Hello students, welcome to revision summary part 2 of unit 5 of management, which is business finance. In this session we are going to discuss again a very important topic, which is dividend and dividend models. Now this part contains numerical portion also. You can expect at least one question from this part. Regularly in each examination questions are coming, or more than one question you can also expect. The expected marks will be 1 to 2 and the difficulty level may range from moderate to difficult. Now what do we mean by dividend? Dividend is that part of the net profit of an organization which is paid to the shareholders after the exclusion of retained profit. That means एक कंपनी के प्रॉफिट का वो पार्ट जो वो अपने शेयर होल्डर्स को डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रही है उसे हम डिविडेंड बोलते हैं. सो डिविडेंड इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड फ्रॉम द प्रॉफिट्स और द रिजर्व्स अवेलेबल for this purpose. In case an organization incurs losses for a particular period, still it can distribute a dividend to its shareholders from the reserves available for the purpose of distributing the dividend. Now what do we mean by dividend policy? It means that what portion of earnings will be paid out to stockholders or the shareholders, and what portion will be retained in the business to finance long term growth. Now out of net profit, out of the profit, a part is distributed as dividend to the shareholders, and whatever is remaining is known as what? Retained earnings of the organization. So this part dividend is distributed to the shareholders and this part is retained by the organization for its long term growth purpose, to finance its long term projects. Now these both are controversy in nature. If an organization distribute more dividend, then shareholders will be happy, but in that case the retained earnings will be less and an organization may face difficulty to finance its long-term investment proposals. In case organization distribute less dividend, then the retained earnings will be more and organization can easily finance its long-term growth proposals, but in that case to keep shareholders happy will be a difficult task for the organization. So the dividend policy determines that what portion should be distributed as dividend and what portion should be retained by the organization in form of retained earnings to finance its long-term business proposals. Now there are various factors which affect the dividend policy of an organization. These factors can be divided as internal factors and external factors. In internal factors we have nature of earnings. If the earning of the organization is good, then in that case it can distribute more dividend. In case of less earnings, organization may prefer to distribute less dividend. Then future fund requirements. If organization requires funds for its future business proposals, then dividend distributed will be less, or in other case it will be more. Liquidity of funds. If more funds are available with the organization or if funds are easily available, organization can distribute more dividend. Shareholder preference or desire. In case shareholders expectation of dividend is high, then in that case organization has to distribute more dividend. Then control motive. In case the management distribute more dividend, then they will remain with less cash in their hands and they can lose control over the organization. Then in external factors we have general state of the economy. If economy is in boom phase, business is growing, earnings are growing, profit will also grow. In that case organization can distribute more dividend. Then firm access to capital market. How easily a firm can arrange funds from the capital market by issue of equity shares or bonds or other instruments. So if a firm can easily access to capital markets, availability of funds will be more and hence dividend will be more. Legal restrictions. There are certain legal restrictions also to distribute dividend that a firm has to consider. Contractual restrictions, if say for example the investors of the organization has put any restrictions, then in that case organization has to adhere to that restrictions also. For example, if the limit of say debt increases beyond a particular range, then there may be a restriction that organization may not be able to distribute dividend. Then government economic and tax policies, higher will be the taxation, lesser will be the profit retained by the organization, and hence lesser will be the dividend. So these factors affect the dividend policy of an organization. Then there are various forms of dividend. We have preference dividend. This dividend is distributed only to the preference shareholders. So the dividend which is distributed to preference shareholders is known as preference dividend. The rate of this dividend is fixed and it is decided at the time of distributing the preference shares. So, and this dividend is a compulsion on organization. Whether the organization incurs losses or profit, an organization has to distribute preference dividend to its preference shareholders. Those shareholders which hold preference shares are known as preference shareholders. So they are entitled only to receive preference dividend. The rate of dividend, this dividend is fixed. It is decided at the time of issuing the preference shares. Then equity dividend, as we have two types of shares, one is preference shares, another is equity share. So the dividend distributed to normal equity shares are known as equity dividend. This dividend is not a compulsion on organization. Remember, dividend is not a compulsion, it is the choice of management only. Only in the case of preference dividend, it is a compulsion on organization, but in case of normal cases or in case of equity shares, dividend is not a compulsion on the management. Interim dividend, any dividend which is distributed between two annual general meetings or AGMs is known as equity dividend. Okay, and at the end the organization declares the फाइनल डिविडेंड. तो दो एजीएम्स के बीच में जो डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर होता है उसे हम इंटरिम डिविडेंड कहते हैं. कैश डिविडेंड, द डिविडेंड व्हिच इज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैश is cash dividend. Other than cash, management can also distribute dividend in form of stocks or bonus shares. So dividend can also take the form of shares. बोनस शेयर की फॉर्म में भी डिविडेंड मिल सकता है विच इज अपार्ट फ्रॉम कैश डिविडेंड. सो दीज आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ डिविडेंड्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड बाय द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Now we have various dividend models given by different mathematicians. So first we have Walter model. So this model was given by James E. Walter. Okay, remember the name also. कभी कभी क्वेश्चन इस पर भी पूछ लिया जाता है. So according to James E. Walter, the dividend policy of a firm is based on the relationship between the internal rate of return earned by it. Okay, what is internal rate of return? The return which the organization earns by investing its business, long-term business proposals, and the cost of capital required or rate of return KE. So dividend depends on the internal rate of return and the cost of capital of the organization. There are various assumptions of this model. The assumptions are internal rate of return R and the cost of capital are constant. Okay, तो वॉल्टर ने बोला कि इंटरनल रेट ऑफ रिटर्न और कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल जो है वो कांस्टेंट है. All new investment opportunities of the firm are to be financed through retained earnings only and no external finance is available for the firm. Walter assumes कि जो भी फाइनेंस होगा वो इंटरनल रिटेन्ड अर्निंग्स के थ्रू ही होगा. एक्सटर्नल फाइनेंस यानी कि फर्म एक्सटर्नल मार्केट को यानी कि डेट रेज नहीं कर सकती मार्केट में, ना ही किसी इन्वेस्टर से, ना ही बॉन्ड्स के थ्रू फर्म्स एक्सटर्नल फाइनेंस के थ्रू बिजनेस प्रपोजल्स को फाइनेंस कर सकती है. द फर्म हैज परपेचुअल और एन इनफाइनाइट लाइफ. तो वॉल्टर सेज दैट द बिजनेस का इनफाइनाइट लाइफ है और परपेचुअल नेचर है. So according to Walter, there are three types of firms, as he says that the dividend depends on the investment decision. So he says that there are three types of firm. First is growth firm. Growth firms are the firm for whom the internal rate of return R is greater than the cost of capital. That means the firms are generating profit by financing its business proposals. So in such case, when a firm has opportunity to earn more profit than the cost of capital, then in this case the firm will distribute no dividend. So no dividend will be distributed in this case, and these firms are known as growth firms because they have growth opportunities available. They can grow their business by investing in new business proposals. Then we have declining firm for whom the internal rate of return is less than the cost of capital. That means the firms are unable to recover even the cost of capital by financing its investment proposals. So in that case, the firm will distribute 100% profit as a dividend. So there will be 100% dividend rate in this case. The entire profit will be distributed among the shareholders as dividend. Then for normal firms, the internal rate of return is equals to cost of capital. In this case, there will be a choice between for the firm either to go for financing the business proposals or to distribute the dividend among the shareholders. So these are the three types of firms given by the Walter, and the dividend declared in each case. Now the formula to determine the market value of share as per the Walter model, formula important है क्योंकि इसी पर बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस भी आ सकते हैं. So P is the market price of the share. It is given by D upon KE plus R multiplied by E minus D upon KE divided by KE. Here D is what the dividend per share. Remember हम dividend हमेशा per share value calculate करते हैं. R is the internal rate of return, E is the earning per share and K is the cost of equity capital और capitalization rate भी हम इसको बोलते हैं. Now there are various criticism of Walter model, as Walter says that external financing is not available. So this is actually not true. In usual case, firm borrows lot of money from the market to finance its business proposals. So external financing is available, while Walter says that there is absence of external financing. Stable rate of return, there is uncertainty in the market. Returns are never stable. They fluctuate according to the business scenario, according to the state of the economy. So they are also not stable. Stable cost of capital. Cost of capital is again not same. In different business scenarios, cost of capital also changes. In cost of capital also, it depends whether the firm is arranging the capital through equity or through debt. Debt is cheaper as compared to equity. So cost of capital is again not stable. It varies time to time. So these are the various criticism of Walter model. ये भी आपको ध्यान रखना है. Now there is an illustration. Santosh Limited earns rupees 5 per share. Rupees 5 per share. This means हमें क्या given है? Earning per share. Earning per share हमें कितना given है? Rupees 5. E हमें given है here. Is capitalized at the rate of 10%. तो यानी कि हमें कैपिटलाइजेशन रेट यानी कि KE हमें गिवन है 10%. नॉट 10% का मतलब हम इसका वैल्यू लेंगे, इसको हम 100 से डिवाइड करेंगे. सो 10% का मतलब हम वैल्यू कंसिडर करेंगे 0.1 एंड हैज अ रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ 18%. तो यानी कि हमें यहाँ पर R का वैल्यू गिवन है 18%. 18% का मतलब हो गया 0.18. ध्यान रखना है कि हमें वैल्यूज को जो गिवन है K एंड R, इसको हमें 100 से डिवाइड करके लिखना है. अकॉर्डिंग टू वॉल्टर्स फॉर्मूला, व्हाट शुड बी द प्राइस पर शेयर एट 25% डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो. नाउ डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो का मतलब कि डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो इज ऑलवेज कैलकुलेटेड ऑन अर्निंग पर शेयर ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो? डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो का मतलब अर्निंग्स का वो पार्ट है जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डिविडेंड की फॉर्म में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रही है. सो डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो 25% है और मैंने आपको बताया कि डिविडेंड हमेशा अर्निंग्स पर कैलकुलेट होता है। नाउ अर्निंग हमें गिवन है ₹5 पर शेयर और डिविडेंड पर शेयर, डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो कितना है 25%, तो डिविडेंड पर शेयर कितना हो जाएगा 25% ऑफ ₹5, यानी कि ये हो जाएगा ₹1.25। तो रिमेंबर अगर डिविडेंड पर शेयर गिवन है तो हम एज इट इज वैल्यू कंसीडर करेंगे, लेकिन अगर हमें डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो गिवन है देन हम डिविडेंड कैलकुलेट करेंगे। कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? अगर डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो गिवन है तो अर्निंग पर शेयर भी हमें गिवन होगा, सो डिविडेंड विल बी दिस मच परसेंटेज ऑफ अर्निंग पर शेयर। ओके, नाउ वी हैव ऑल द वैल्यूज, सो द वैल्यू ऑफ P विल बी 1.25, फॉर्मूला भी हमने देखा तो मैं वैल्यूज पुट कर रहा हूं 1.25 डिवाइडेड बाय 1.25 मींस डिविडेंड पर शेयर डिवाइडेड बाय KE 0.1 प्लस 0.18 दैट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ R 0.18 डिवाइडेड बाय E यानी कि 5 माइनस D 1.25 डिवाइडेड बाय KE that is 0.10 and then again divided by KE 0.1। तो यहां से आप वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो दिस वैल्यू कम्स आउट टू बी 12.5 and this value will be 67.5। okay, so the net value will be ₹80 per share। so the price of per share as per the Walter model is ₹80। तो इस तरीके से हम प्राइस कैलकुलेट करेंगे। नाउ सेकंड मॉडल इज गॉर्डन्स मॉडल। गॉर्डन सेज दैट इन्वेस्टर वैल्यू करंट डिविडेंड मोर हाईली देन एक्सपेक्टेड फ्यूचर डिविडेंड, यानी कि इन्वेस्टर्स करंट डिविडेंड को प्रेफर कर रहे हैं ओवर दी फ्यूचर डिविडेंड्स। अकॉर्डिंग टू गॉर्डन, मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ अ शेयर इज इक्वल टू दी प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ इट्स एक्सपेक्टेड फ्यूचर डिविडेंड। It can be calculated using this formula. So price per share according to Gordon's model is D, again D here is dividend per share divided by KE, that is capitalization rate or cost of capital minus BR. Here BR is the growth rate in R, okay, growth rate in R or the rate of return on investment. So growth rate of return on investment is what? BR, or it can also be calculated as E, that is earning per share divided multiplied by 1 minus B. Here B is what? The retention ratio or percentage of retained earnings. So what will be retention ratio? How to calculate retention ratio? Out of the earnings per share. Okay, earning per share में से हमने डिविडेंड को सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दिया, अब जो हमारे पास में बचा दिस विल बी व्हाट दी रिटेंशन रेशियो। तो या तो हमें बी का वैल्यू डायरेक्टली गिवन होगा और एल्स हम बी की वैल्यू कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं अर्निंग पर शेयर लेस दी डिविडेंड पर शेयर, दिस विल बी व्हाट दी रिटेंशन रेशियो। सो आउट ऑफ से 100% अर्निंग इफ वी आर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिंग 20% डिविडेंड, सो दी रिटेंशन रेशियो विल बी 80%। ओके, then again KE is cost capitalization rate or cost of capital and BR is the growth rate in R as same. Now there are various assumptions of Gordon model also. Every model has certain assumptions. So Gordon assumes that the internal rate of return, that is R, and the cost of capital of the firm remains constant. Again this is an assumption, but it is in real life it is actually not possible. The internal rate of return and cost of capital are never constant for a firm. The firm operates its investment activities only through equity. That means again the external financing is not available. Firm only invest its activities through issue of equity only. There does not exist corporate taxes. Again this is this assumption does not exist in the real life because there are corporate taxes also. The retention ratio once decided is constant forever. This is again an assumption, but actually it is not true in real life. The firm has perpetual life. So based on these assumptions there are again the criticism of Gordon model also. So the criticism are in real world constant dividend growth and earning growth is a fallacy. It is not possible. The investor will buy and hold shares for an indefinite period of time is again false assumption. No investor can hold any equity share for infinite time. So this assumption is again wrong. The model ignores capital gains allowance for corporate and personal taxations. So Gordon assumes that there are no corporate tax, which is a false assumption. The diminishing marginal efficiency of investment is ignored in this model. The effect of change in firm's risk class and its effect on firm's cost of capital is ignored. Gordon assumes that cost of capital is constant, which is not possible because the firm's risk position changes, cost of capital also changes. So these are the criticisms of Gordon model. Now we will see an example. Determine the market price of share of LMN Limited as per Gordon models. Given KE हमें given है 11%. So this means KE will be 11% means 0.11. Then E earning per share. Earning per share हमें given है ₹20. Then R हमें given है 12%. So R will be 12% means 0.12. And B हमें given है 90%. B is retention ratio. So 90% means 0.9. Now we have to calculate the price per share. So P will be here E multiplied by 1 minus B divided by KE. KE minus BR. Okay. Now E is given to us ₹20. B is given to us 0.9. KE is given 0.1. BR. Now BR will be B multiplied by R, that is 0.12 multiplied by 0.9. So this value will be 0.108. Okay. So the value of price of the share will be 20 multiplied by 1 minus 0.9 divided by KE. KE is 0.11. 0.11 minus BR. BR is 0.108. Okay. So if you calculate this value, it will come out to be ₹1,000. So price per share will be ₹1,000 as per the Gordon model. So remember how to calculate BR. When R is given to us, B is given to us, BR will be B multiplied by R. Okay, and then we can put the value in the required formula. Then we have model, Modigliani and Miller model. So this is that dividend decisions and retained earning decision do not influence the market value of the share. That is, this is that dividend policy is irrelevant for valuation of the share. That is, there is no effect of current dividend policy on the market price of the share. So according to model, the dividend policy is irrelevant for the valuation of equity share. Again, there are certain assumptions. There exists a perfect capital market. That means perfect capital market means everyone has all the information available. There are no flotation or transaction cost. Now what is flotation cost? Flotation cost or transaction cost means, say when you are issuing an equity, okay, so the organization has to incur certain expenses. एक organization जब equity issue कर रही है या debt instruments like bonds, debentures issue कर रही है, then in that process organization has to incur certain expenses. These expenses are known as flotation cost or the transaction cost. So model says that there are no flotation or transaction cost, which is false in real life. There are certain transaction or flotation cost, especially in case of equity. There is a significant flotation cost which a firm has to incur. There are no taxes or corporate taxes. So again, this is a false assumption. Future earnings are known with certainty. This is actually not possible. We don't know the future. Future is highly uncertain. We cannot say anything that about the earnings of the organization in future. Whatever today an organization is earning, that will remain same in the future with certainty, that is not sure, but it is one of the assumption of MM model. So as per this model, the market price of the share is P naught, that P naught is the current market price, D1 plus P1 upon 1 plus KE. Here P naught is the market price, current market price, D1 is the dividend to be received at the end of the period. Okay, P1 is the market price per share at the end of the period. So say today you are holding a particular share, so what is the expected dividend at the end of first year? That will be the value of D1. Then what will be the market price at the end of the period? That will be the value of P1. And K is same, cost of equity capital or capitalization rate. Now how to calculate the market price at the end of the period? That is P1. P1 is P naught multiplied by 1 plus KE minus D1. So इस फॉर्मूला की हेल्प से हम P1 कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, और P1 अगर हमें गिवन है तो हम P naught का वैल्यू कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं. So these are the criticism of MM approach. They assume that there is a perfect market. In actually there is no perfect market. There are taxes with different tax rates in the market. There is a presence of flotation cost in the market, and the future earnings are highly uncertain. So there is an uncertainty in the market. Now we will look at some of the questions which have come in the previous year examinations. Match the following constructs with underlying theories on dividend decision. So bird in the hand argument. We know that according to Gordon model, the investors prefer the current dividend or the present dividend. This is also known as bird in the hand argument. So option number A का सही मैच है Gordon model, that is fourth. Then irrelevance of dividend. We have seen that MM theory says that the market price is irrelevant of the dividend policy. So B का सही ऑप्शन मैचिंग होगा ऑप्शन नंबर 1. Then interdependence of investment and dividend decision. As per the Walter model, the investment decisions and the dividend decisions are dependent on each other. We have seen 3 types of form: growth form, declining form and normal form. Then last remaining is tax consideration in dividend. This was given by Linter model. Okay, so the correct match is option number 4 here. What is the market price per share? फेस वैल्यू हमें गिवन है ₹100. रिमेंबर डिविडेंड हमेशा फेस वैल्यू पर डिक्लेयर होता है. ओके, एज पर वॉल्टर मॉडल, तो हमें वॉल्टर मॉडल को यूज करते हुए मार्केट प्राइस बताना है. इफ द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेट ऑफ द कंपनी इज 16%, नो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेट हमें गिवन है 16%, यानी कि हमें अर्निंग पर शेयर, अगर हम अर्निंग पर शेयर कैलकुलेट करना चाहें यहां से, तो अर्निंग पर शेयर E. नाउ E विल बी प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी. नाउ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी आल्सो इज अगेन कैलकुलेटेड ऑन फेस वैल्यू. If a firm has 16% of profitability, then the earning per share will be 16% of face value. So 16% of ₹100. So this means the earning per share of the organization is ₹16 per share. Okay. Payout ratio is 80%. Now, if payout ratio is 80%, if payout ratio is 80%, then dividend will be, this means that company is distributing 80% of its earning in form of dividend. Now earning we have already calculated as ₹16 per share. So dividend per share will be 80% of ₹16. That means the dividend per share is ₹12.8. 80% of 16 will be 12.8 rupees. Cost of capital हमें given है 10%. Okay. Now, so cost of capital means that is KE. KE का वैल्यू हमें given है 10%. So 10% का मतलब 0.1. Now, as per the Walter model, the formula is P equals to D plus R divided by KE multiplied by E minus D whole divided by KE. Okay, now putting the values here, we get D, dividend per share is 12.8 rupees plus R हमें गिवन है यहाँ पर 16%, यानी कि 0.16. ओके, हमें गिवन है प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेट गिवन है हमें 16%, सो दैट मीन्स R का वैल्यू कितना हो जाएगा यहाँ पे 0.16. ओके, so 0.16 divided by KE we have is given to us 0.1 multiply by E, earning per share is rupees 16 minus dividend per share is 12.8 divided by KE, that is 0.1. तो यहाँ से जब हम P का वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करेंगे तो हमें वैल्यू मिलेगा रुपीज 179.2. सो द करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ऑप्शन नंबर थर्ड here. ओके, सो रिमेंबर जब हमें प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेट गिवन है, दैट मीन्स अर्निंग पर शेयर विल बी कैलकुलेटेड एज प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी रेट ऑफ द फेस वैल्यू. इसीलिए हमें यहाँ पर फेस वैल्यू भी गिवन था, क्योंकि प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी हमेशा फेस वैल्यू पर कैलकुलेट होता है, राइट. सो ऑप्शन सी इज द राइट आंसर. द प्राइस पर शेयर इज रुपीज 179.2. hypothesis for capital structure is based on which of the following assumptions? hypothesis के assumptions क्या थे हमें बताना है. Investors are rational and have homogeneous expectation. So I told you perfect market means that investors are rational, यानी कि उनको information available है and have homogeneous expectation. So this is one of the assumption. Perfect capital market, yes, this is one of the assumption. 100% ऑफ रिटेंशन ऑफ प्रॉफिट, ये assumption नहीं है hypothesis का. नो टैक्सेस, yes, this is the assumption of hypothesis. So A, B and D are the right options. So option 1 is correct in this case. So students, if you are preparing for IIT JAM, CSIR NET and NTGC NET, then you can buy study material from Edunkal. You can also download the mobile app of Edunkal from your Google Play Store. On this app, you will find the support of more than 250 trained faculties who will help you to solve your queries and to crack your examination. Thank you very much.